Dang. Yeah, that's cool, man. I think there's a lot of similarities in hunting that can cross over to the real world. It definitely is a character builder. It I know there's been some really low points in hunting that I've had. I missed a bull. It was back in 2021. I missed a bull at 8 yards.
Oh.
And my sight picture was completely clean, but there was a small, like, 1/4-inch pine branch that was right in front of my broadhead.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be nice. Just a nice, smooth pull.
Mm-hmm.
And just see the arrow go flying over its back, dude. And, like, talk about the lowest of a low.
Oh, yeah.
Missing a bull at 8 yards.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Telling that story then to your buddies, like, oh, I seen that bull came over here. How'd it go? And I was like, yeah, he's at 8 yards, and I missed. And
A little humble pie. Right?
Oh, dude, yeah. Because that was like my 3rd year archery elk hunting, never even getting to pull my bow back on a bull.
Oh, man.
And then that was like our 4th day out there, and finally something clicked. It wasn't even meant to be. We weren't ever supposed to be there that morning. We just decided, let's just go down here. And, a lot of times when you're hunting, things just happen that you don't mean to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing an audible right away, But just like in life, dude, I've had some really low points, and you just got to brush yourself off and keep going. That was only halfway through the hunt. I didn't end up getting an elk then, but that was on like the 4th day, and I think my dad went home a couple days later, so it was just me and my buddy out there, and then my buddy went home the next morning, and I was like, well, I said I was going to stay here, the whole duration of my vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to stay here one more night. Everybody went home, and that night it was like a backcountry elk hunt. So we were, 3-4 miles back in off the road, did the whole spike tent thing.
Yeah.
Never done that before. It was just a whole new experience, and we had elk coming into our camp.
Wow.
And
that's special.
We seen that at night, and so everybody had left, and I was like, I'm gonna go on a big hike in the morning, by myself, because everybody had already gone home, and decided that I was going to go check out a new canyon I've never been to. I've wanted to check out. So I went up there. First time I've been hunting this whole area, and the first time I ever found wolf scat. And I heard that there was wolf up in the area, but I've never even seen a sign. I've had trail cams, never caught any of them. And so I was like, well, that's cool. That's a, new thing. And I was like, I'm going to go back to camp at like 5 o'clock and have my dinner early. And I'm just going to hunt from camp,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen deer. I've seen elk coming right through our camp. Why should I go chase them if they're just going to come to me anyway?
Right to you, yeah.
So I went and had the Peak Outdoor Fuel, whatever. Yeah, I love their stuff, but I had one of them like 5 o'clock. I was like, I'm just going to throw my Crocs on. I'm not even going to put my boots. I took my Crocs on, walked out like 200 yards from our camp. I could still see our camp. And I was like, I'm just going to sit here, ranged all the trees. Like, I'm just going to see what happens,
Yeah.
I just had a feeling, go out there and ranged everything and just looking. It's getting about like 8 o'clock at night. It's starting to get a little cold, and I was like, oh, I forgot my jacket. It's like, oh, I'll just give it like 10 more minutes. So I gave it 10 more minutes, and it's like, oh, all right, well, I guess I better go back. And like right as I said that in my head, I look over, and all of a sudden there's just like this wolf just prancing up, lone wolf from the bottom up, and just coming up, just walking like there's nothing. Like I had to do a double take. I've never seen a wolf in my life before.
Yeah.
And I was like, this
Creepy.
way too big to be a coyote.
Yeah.
And it's gray.
Oh, yeah.
I had already arranged everything ahead of time. Had a wolf tag. I was like, all right, let's see how it goes. Ranged it, or I didn't range it, but I knew it was like at between 20 and 25 yards.
Because you'd been ranging, right?
Yeah, just I usually do when you set up, and shot and went like 80 feet up, beelined it straight back down, and I couldn't find any blood though.
Oh, really?
All I could find was like where the the dirt from where he ran.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find any blood at all. And so I went up to where it did like the button hook back, and I found my arrow just covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
It was good red blood and everything. It's like, all right.
That's good.
And then it starts getting like really dark, and I can't find anything. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go sleep and then get up in the next morning. Got up early morning and barely any light out, started looking. And I looked all over the place. Couldn't Couldn't find any blood. Like, just started gritting for hours. Went to the last, I started at the last point that I had seen, gritted all over, couldn't find anything. And I was like the lowest point then too. I was like, I just made a shot on a wolf. Like, who says that they've ever shot a wolf with their bow?
With their bow, it's pretty cool.
And now I can't even find it.
Yeah.
And all I got is a bloody arrow.
Yeah.
And I just sat down and I was like saying a little prayer, and I was like, Grandma, let's go find this big bad wolf,
Oh man, that's cool.
Because my grandma had passed away a couple of years prior.
Close to your grandma though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go back and start where last time I had seen it. And it was about like 10 o'clock in the morning by that point. It was a lot lighter. So I go back to the last point, and I looked down, and it was right there at the very last spot that I had seen it go down the night before.
Wow.
It had just like tumbled right into the brush, and I couldn't even see it.
Wow.
So then I'm solo, and I'm trying. It's rigor mortis to set in. I've never even taken apart a fur animal before.
Oh right, yeah.
So I'm like trying to figure this out. I know there's a way to tube sock, like fur animals and coyotes and stuff, but I don't know how. So I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna just rug this out.
Yeah.
And but it's just crazy, because I think back and I'm like, what if I would have just quit after I missed that bull 8 yards? This would have never happened.
Mm-mm.
And I think about that and make that correlation to a lot of other things in life. And it's like, there's been times in my life where I just wanted to quit. And a lot of things have come later in life that I didn't understand at that moment that was shitty.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that was a defining moment. And I think there's a lot of correlations between things that have happened hunting or different things into real life. And it's just crazy to think, look back at all those different things.
Have you ever looked into like Native American or like spiritual meanings behind like taking a wolf or something? I haven't either, but I'm just saying like, or like looking into like what it means to shoot a wolf with like a bow. Like there's got to be something out there, that talks about it. And I'm sure that, whatever that, the Native Americans or whatever felt with that, like was present, right, with you in that moment. And it sounds like, you're subconsciously knew, whether you're saying a prayer to your grandma or whatever, like you knew, like this is a time right now where I need to persevere through this, and I need to push through this, and I need to put my ego aside about missing a bull at 8 yards to finish the job, know, and to go and to continue to search. And, I mean, a lot of guys would probably just be like, I mean, I don't know if this will cancel me or not, but like a lot of guys would just search for it and then be like, oh, whatever, predator management, and move on, But for you to stick it out and continuously like search and then find it, like that's pretty cool, and you're rewarded for that. So do you have that wolf's rug?
Yeah.
That needs to be in here.
It's too big.
Okay. So it was a big wolf.
I didn't think it was that big, but then when they rugged it out, it was bigger than I
that's
thought.
awesome.
Like, it has to be on the biggest wall. Like, it's in my stairwell. That's how.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really
cool. And I
cool.
also have kids and dogs, so I can't have it too low to the ground, because I heard dogs don't like the smell of wolves.
So that wolf has a ton of meaning then.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, it was like a 5-year-old female, because I had to go get it taken in.
Right.
Like, it had a chipped canine.
Oh, wow.
So it's got a lot of character.
That's cool. And you got all the information back from like the tracking information and everything?
Didn't have a tracker or anything, but they just did the age on the tooth, and it said it was a 5.5-year-old female. So
that's
like,
awesome.
It was a mature, and they're like, was it in a pack? I'm like, no, it was just a lone wolf.
Solo.
Like, that's weird to see a solo wolf.
You should look into that meaning too.
Yeah.
Like, what's it mean to see a lone wolf?
Yeah.
You could probably make some crazy correlations. Like if you see a lone wolf, that has some meaning with like being an outlier or like, something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I wanted to send the wolf skull to the Bone Tats guy.
Oh, yeah. And have him do some sort of like story on there, like with his Dremel.
Yeah.
That would be really cool too.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Bone Tats, dude. Get him on here and then, have him do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Neat.